Hello everyone, this one's going to be a dry video. So tomorrow I am releasing a very huge and entertaining long form video essay that I think you'll find rather entertaining and worth your time. But just stick with me on this because we're going to be talking about something that is kind of urgent, especially if you live in the city of Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita is a neighborhood and city that I've spoken about multiple times on not just this channel in my videos, but also on my podcast. Sometimes it is cunningly referred to as Awesome Town, although I don't really get it, but okay, my friend, whatever you're into, buddy. Santa Clarita is most known for having Six Flags Magic Mountain, the Saugus High School shooting, neo-Nazis at Dapper Dan's car wash, that one really expensive college that Tim Burton went to, a lost train that I could never find for some reason, and now apparently it is known for Pastor Jerry Cook. But before we cook with Jerry Cook, let's cook with some background information. A little bit of context would never hurt, my friends. There once was an actor named William S. Hart from the silent film era who mainly specialized in country western films. Hell's Hinges, Ben-Hur, Tumbleweeds. He married Winifred Westover in 1921, and they got a divorce in 1927 with complete implications that Westover was going to be blackballed from the film industry. Yeah, William S. Hart was a great guy, and then he died in 1946 in Newhall, which is the oldest part of Santa Clarita. Anyway, Santa Clarita has various school districts, including the Castaic and Newhall and Saugus and the Early Start Program school districts. But interestingly, there's a William S. Hart school district, and this is where the story takes place, for the most part. This here is Joe Messina. No, not the white brother with soul, no, I mean this guy. He's a member of the Hart District School Board in Santa Clarita, and he's known for his interesting views. Let's take a look at some of them. Why we need a moral and educated electorate. Now, I did read it a few times, and I'm just gonna let you know right now, all this is doing is saying that Joe Biden sucks and that they need to have a strongman elected into office. If you're at all familiar with historically fascist talking points, especially from those who are trying to gain some kind of political power, then yeah, this is just all too familiar. But an educated and moral electorate? Okay, you're a member of the Hart District School Board. Are you educated? Let's take a look. You get what you vote for. De Blasio turns New York City into a third world nation. Now he goes total communist, announces all public school athletes, coaches, and sports personnel who are in high-risk sports such as football, volleyball, etc. must get the first dose of facts by the first game day. Yes, football is a contact sport. And if athletes are going to be changing in the locker rooms along with the coaches and sports personnel, they're going to need to be vaccinated so that way they don't kill each other. Also, do you even know what communism is? Do you even know what a transitionary state is and what it has anything to do with socialism or communism? Actually, can you even define the difference between socialism or communism? The answer is no, because this guy's a fucking dipshit. And this guy is a member of your local school board if you live in the Hart District. Wow. Now, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, but this is his response to Joe Biden saying that there would be two different responses if it were Black Lives Matter protesters at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. To which Joe Messina says correct. The Capitol Police would have unlocked all doors for them. No guns would have been drawn. The DC mayor decided on Monday that she would not allow a greater police presence. Why? This is absolutely dumb. Like, really dumb, to the point to where it's even been debunked. According to The Guardian, cops in the United States are 3 times as likely to use excessive use of force against left-wing protesters, i.e. Black Lives Matter, than they are against right-wing protesters, which is the people who were at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. So yeah, this fucking doofus is a member of your school board, and he's all about conspiracy theories. He hates the LGBT LGBT community. He's anti-union. He fundraises for crazy politicians like Marjorie Taylor Greene. He thinks the mayor of New York City is a communist, even though New York City has some of the most brutal police force in the entire country. Yet he somehow is a huge fan of more policing, which kind of contradicts his views on the mayor of New York City. He's a white supremacist. I mean, what is there not to love? And I'm being sarcastic, y'all. Please don't hate me. And yeah, he's just not very bright, and it's quite apparent that he not only hates his own teachers that he governs over, but especially his students. Moral uneducated my ass. Anyway, the Heart District in Santa Clarita started introducing forced outing policies, which are known as parental notification policies. Let me explain a little bit about this. The idea is that if any of the staff members at your local school suspects the students of being LGBT in any way, even on just basic perception alone, it would become a policy where the staff would have to inform the parent that their kid is LGBT in some way. This would mean that the parent would then discover, against the child's consent, that the child was LGBT. And if you're not already aware, this kind of policy has a lot of very negative and extremist implications. Firstly, not all parents are homophobic or transphobic, but there are a lot of parents who are indeed homophobic and transphobic, whether they are ignorant or otherwise. This means that if the parent is already a very abusive and extremely hateful parent, the implications as to what can happen to the kid who has been forced outed to the parent can be exacerbated. Sometimes the amount of abuse that the child will receive from this homophobic parent can increase so much to the point to where they might even get kicked out of their homes. To put that into perspective, let's take a look at some statistics that were cited by the National Coalition for the Homeless in June of 2009. 20% of homeless youth are LGBT. In comparison, the general youth population is only 10% LGBT. While homeless youth typically experience severe family conflict as the primary reason for their homelessness, LGBT youth are twice as likely to experience sexual abuse before the age of 12. LGBT youth, once homeless, are at a higher risk for victimization, mental health problems, and unsafe sexual practices. 58.7% of LGBT homeless youth have been sexually victimized compared to 33% of heterosexual homeless youth. LGBT youth are roughly 7.4 times more likely to experience acts of sexual violence than heterosexual homeless youth. And last but not least, LGBT homeless youth commit suicide at a higher rate, 62%, than heterosexual youth at 29%. These statistics are from the result as to what happens when a child is from a non-supportive family. And let's make this clear for the Heart District School Board that this is children we're talking about here. Children in which you govern over. Children are not just mere numbers for you to earn a paycheck. No. These are people, full human beings, who are developing and growing into adults to live, hopefully, successful futures. Futures that you should be preparing them for, not making their home life that much more abusive. And I want to make this extremely clear. If you do not understand what I just told you, you do not deserve to work in a field that raises children. You do not deserve to be in a school board, Joe Messina. So what did Joe Messina do during this school board meeting on November 15, 2023 in the Heart District? Well, Joe Messina made everything Joe Messia. Okay, sorry, that's a terrible pun. That's the only thing I did bad in this video. Joe Messina collaborated with Jerry Cook to get Moms for Liberty and other outside far-right groups to attend this meeting. And let me emphasize, a lot of these other groups that I am talking about don't even have children of their own, meaning these are people who are attending a school board meeting from a different town who don't even have children themselves. And I think I want to make something very clear because maybe some people who are watching this may not understand. Having a subscription to a family taboo porn site doesn't make you a parent. Not to kink shame or anything like that. And for those who don't know, Moms for Liberty is a grassroots organization that fights for peace, justice, and liberty for all. I'm kidding, that is absolutely not what they do. Moms for Liberty is one of many astroturfed groups that advocate for the banning of LGBT students and LGBT people, not just in legislation, but abroad in school board meetings like this one in the Heart District. We've spoken about Moms for Liberty in a previous video about Christian fascism, but if you remember that video, they quoted Adolf Hitler, which was really fucking wild for them. Well, I guess that's not wild for them, because I guess that's them setting the bar for how fucking batshit crazy they are. Because as much as they like to push this trans people are groomer narrative, the leader of Moms for Liberty's husband is currently under investigation for sexual assault allegations. So that means with what little we already know about Moms for Liberty, there's bound to be some skeletons within their closet. Meaning they are throwing bricks and boulders in their own glass castles. Anyway, those are the people who attended this Heart School Board meeting. And I want to say something really quick, and that is, I'm super proud of Santa Clarita as a city for standing up against these fucking scumbags. Honestly, I never thought in a million years when there was an actual fascist uprising in Santa Clarita that there would be an actual pushback against it. But this is an example of me being proven wrong, and I'm very thankful for it. Which should tell you that there is a huge contrast between the people who are trying to stop this from passing and the bigots. But this is where the story gets interesting, because as this was an unsuccessful endeavor for these astroturf groups, Pastor Jerry Cook took to his church later that week and decided to bitch and moan about it. But I want to play this clip, because I think y'all in Santa Clarita should be concerned. Take a listen.
Can you imagine going to a meeting like some of you went to on Wednesday and not know the Lord? All that pent-up frustration couldn't go to his shoulders. Amen. Because you know what I did? I said, Lord, you're going to have to deal with that crowd, man. Because there's no way. The only way I deal with them, I just bomb them.
That's right, everyone. Jerry Cook said it himself. He's planning to bomb Santa Clarita. Now, in light of what happened in 2019 at Saugus High School, this rings a little too sensitive, not just to me, but to the rest of the entire city. This may be a controversial opinion of mine that might even get me canceled on Twitter.com. But I just don't think we need to be introducing firearms and explosives into school environments. And to be frank, let alone anywhere for that matter, because nobody wants to be blown up or shot at. So I am of the belief that if you live in Santa Clarita, California, and you see Jerry Cook walking around, you should consider him as a terroristic threat. Not even just a homophobe or just a transphobe who had too many drinks at Thanksgiving, but an actual terrorist who's planning to kill people. Now, I am certain that there is going to be some stupid people saying some stupid shit in a few minutes, so let's debunk them right away. Somebody might say, well, no, he's not planning to bomb Santa Clarita. He says he's gonna bomb the LGBT community of Santa Clarita. To this, I will say the same thing that I said about Israel when they bombed Al-Shifa Hospital. Do you really think that Pastor Jerry Cook himself is going to check with every single member of Santa Clarita Valley to confirm that they are a member of the LGBT community before he starts bombing them? Because unless Pastor Jerry Cook has access to the Pentagon artillery, where he can hopefully steal some guided munitions for his little fucking terrorist act, bombs in a crowd of people or in a city don't just kill one person and one specific person. No, they kill everything within its vicinity. And look, y'all, I know I'm not very bright. This random guy on the internet whom I've never met before has told me so. But I just don't think that you're gonna get away with saying that you're gonna bomb the Santa Clarita LGBT community. Because first of all, you're bound to kill people who are not LGBT. And secondly, LGBT people, especially LGBT youth, are people. You are pretty much threatening murder within your community. And I just think that if the Santa Clarita Police Department, located on Magic Mountain Parkway, want to prevent something like the Saugus High School mass shooting in 2019 from repeating itself, they would take this threat seriously. But before we start pretending that we figured out the solution to this problem, let us remember this. According to the University of Utah of Law, in a study conducted in 2020, law enforcement officers only prevent 2% of crime. So my advice for you is that if you really want to get the police's attention involved here, which I wouldn't recommend, but if that's the route you're going to go for, really get their attention. I mean really get their attention. Hell, maybe even get the FBI involved if you really want to use law enforcement to prevent this issue, but I don't really have much faith in that. So the next best thing I would recommend is for you to spread awareness of not only Jerry Cook, but also Joe Messina. In Glendale, California, a lot of people have already taken steps to spread awareness of the extremists who are going to the Glendale Unified School District Board meetings, printing out posters and plastering them all over the city of Glendale. This is what I would like to see in Santa Clarita. And personally, I'm a little fucking scared to see what would happen if this happened in my hometown of Burbank. I have yet to see anything even remotely close to something like that, but I digress for now. I don't understand how a forced outing policy can be at all helpful, even with the homophobic mindset. Because if we're just assuming that any teenage boy who happens to wear a pink hoodie is gay, and that would be the probable cause for the staff to notify the parents that the kid is gay, well, how do you know the kid is gay just because he wore a pink hoodie? I remember being in high school, and a lot of the boys, who were actually really homophobic by the way, wore pink t-shirts. Remember, forced outing policies are based on sheer speculation alone, meaning anybody can be considered LGBT if you look hard enough. Joe Messina truly, and I mean this seriously, should not be on the school board of the Hart District. I don't even think Joe Messina should have a job, period. This is a man who is actually in charge of governing teachers and students. And that right there should tell you that if he is willing to put a pastor who is going to threaten to bomb the schools and the city of Santa Clarita, that should tell you that this guy is unsafe to be a school board member. Do you see and understand now why this is a problem? I no longer live in Santa Clarita, but I want to hope that the members of Santa Clarita are handling this in the way that they see fit. And like I said, I'm very proud of the city of Santa Clarita for standing up against these people. But I think now we need to start talking about and having a dialogue, feel free to do it in the comment section, about ways to combat this so that this shit doesn't continue. Pastor Jerry Cook is literally sitting in a tax-exempted building while he is making bomb threats to the schools and the city of Santa Clarita. And Hart District School Board member Joe Messina is inviting a pastor who is not only just making bomb threats, but along with Moms for Liberty and a bunch of other hate groups that are not parents to the school board meetings. He is inviting terrorists. Santa Clarita has a terrorist in their school board.